Hi, hi. My name is Carla. Carla. C-A-R-L-A. Carla. Estoy muy feliz que tú estás aquí conmigo ahorita, ¿ok? Muchísimas gracias. Okay. Gracias. Hello. I'm very happy. I am ecstatic that you are here with me right now. Okay? Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay? Te aprecio. Gracias. Okay. I know the world is going through a very tumultuous time right now, and you know what? I just want to take a moment to be present in this moment with you and to just relax. And I hope that you are taking the necessary precautions to ensure your safety and the safety of those around you during this time. I know that this whole COVID-19 virus is horrible and it's a bad thing, but you know what? You're not a bad thing, okay? If anything, you're incredible. And I feel like we could all use some cheering up, okay? So I thought it would be a good idea to continue to read to you some utterly useless facts, okay? Because reading useless facts tend to cheer me up. So it is my hope that reading these useless facts can cheer you up a little if you're feeling a little down. And just so you know, it's okay to feel down. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to be sad. Embrace those feelings. Empower yourself by embracing those feelings. And I hope that if you are under quarantine, it's so crazy that's a sentence that just came out of my mouth. So crazy to think about, but if you are in quarantine, then I hope that you are discovering new interests. I hope you're discovering new passions. I hope that you find something that really ignites something within you. Some of you may be finding out that you're amazing bakers, cooks, writers, painters, drawers, knitters, whatever it may be. I hope that you're doing well. I hope as well as you can possibly be during this time. Okay, so I hope that I'm wishing you and your friends and your family all the best, okay? And I'm going to shut up and start reading to you. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to continue to read to you. That's a fact check, okay? Let's begin where we left off. Okay. All scorpions glow. A scorpion's exoskeleton contains a thin transparent film called the hyaline layer, which fluoresces under black ultraviolet light. Even after hundreds of millions of years, the hyaline layers of fossilized scorpions still glow. Ooh. How cool. Okay. Certain ants will climb to the top of a grass stalk and wait, becoming easy prey for roaming herbivores. Just a fluke? It is a fluke. The lancet liver fluke. Once inside an ant, the parasite controls its nerve centers, forces it into the open and eventually find safe harbor in the livers of sheep, cattle, goats, pigs, and rarely humans. Gross! You can, in fact, get cooties. Cooties are lice. Cooties are lice. Cooties are lice. Cooties are lice. See that? Cootie. Poison ivy is a member of the tropical cashew family from which we get cashews and pistachio nuts. Oh yes, you know what? I've actually, some time ago, I read that cashews are actually poisonous, but they have to go through this whole process in order to make them non-poisonous, something like that. Which is it's pretty crazy to think about because I love cashews. Cashews. Ooh, let's see if I can pronounce this long word. Prosopagnosia is the inability to recognize faces, including one's own image, in a mirror. Sufferers of this rare disorder know that they are looking at a face, but they cannot say to whom the face belongs. Damn, bro. Okay. Though John Lennon, I'm sorry, I love the Beatles, okay. Though John Lennon claimed to be the walrus, he is actually a trilobite, a prehistoric ocean-dwelling arthropod. The four species, Avalanchuris garfunkeli, a Lennon, I can't say this word, a Lennoni, a Simony, and a Starry, are named after Art Garfunkel, John Lennon, Paul Simon, and Ringo Starr, respectively. Okay. Artists have more sexual partners. Alright. Researchers suggest that creative people excel at attracting mates, acting on sexual impulses, and doing more than their share of ensuring species survival because they often display schizotypical characteristics, the positive side of schizophrenic personality traits. Well, I'll be damned, that's a fact, Jack. In his role, James Bond, Sean Connery wore a toupee to hide his receding hairline. Okay. The actress, Liz Sheridan, best known for her portrayal of Jerry Seinfeld's TV mother, was briefly engaged to James Dean. Okay. When not sleeping, shrews must hunt constantly. After only a few hours without food, they become so weak that they begin to eat each other. Sounds like me. I'm playing, okay. There are rivers in the sky. Although they can't be seen with the naked eye, atmospheric rivers, hundreds of miles wide, cut enormous channels through the sky and play a key role in the planet's water cycle. Okay. Clouds are made of water droplets condensed around particles of smoke, dust, ash, and salt. Isal. How do you say salt in Spanish? Sal. ¿Cómo se dice salt en español? Sal. ¿Cómo se dice sal en inglés? Salt. Okay. Cigars are called stogies because pioneer drivers of Conestoga covered wagons made in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, preferred the long, cheap cigars available in that region. Over time, Conestoga was shortened to stogie. The word curfew comes from the French couvre-feu. I hope I said that right. Or cover the fire. A curfew was originally the time when you had to extinguish fires, candles, and lamps. That just just the little drawings are so cute. Okay, they're so cute. In late 1600s Puritan society, a child over 16 convicted of cursing at a parent was sentenced to death. Being a stubborn or rebellious child also earned you a death sentence. Wow, how cute. The Puritans founded America's first college, bookstore, and newspaper. The Puritans brought beer to America. According to Mort's Relations, 1622, the Mayflower Pilgrims settled at Plymouth because supplies, especially beer, were running low. Beer was a dietary mainstay on long voyages because, having been boiled, it was purer than water. Now, don't you go drinking beer instead of water, alright? Okay. The most common name for privately owned boats is Serenity. The second most is Wet Dream. Ooh. What in tarnation derives from the expression, what in eternal damnation? The infinity sign is called a lemniscate. Oh, you know what? One of my rings that I wear all the time is an infinity sign, or a lemniscate. Despite being made famous by Dutch paintings and Spain's Don Quixote, windmills originated in Persia before the 10th century. Wedding rings date back to thousands of years. The ancient Romans and Egyptians both believed that a vein called the vena amoris ran directly from the ring finger to the heart. If that is really true, that is such a sweet sentiment. That's so cute. How pure that is. Okay. Percentage of American men who say they would marry the same person if they had to do it all over, 80. Percentage of American women who say the same, 50. Damn. Wow. The German language has words to describe 30 kinds of kisses, including Nachkissen, which are kisses that make up for those that have been omitted. That's so sweet. On average, women utter 7,000 words a day. Men manage just over 2,000. Oh man, get those numbers up. Ready? Okay. which is the alphabet in order of its frequency of use in written English. I feel like I got dyslexia just reading all that. Oh Lord. Okay. At 1 in 176 million, the odds of winning a Mega Millions jackpot are extraordinarily slim. Thanks. You're more likely to be crushed by a vending machine, give birth to identical quadruplets, become president of the United States, or die in an asteroid apocalypse than win the lottery. You know what? These facts were supposed to make me feel and make you feel better, but damn. Maybe that one should have been omitted. I'm so sorry. But at least they said that you have a chance of becoming president, so that's pretty good. Okay. A theorem of algebraic topology known as the Hairy-Ball theorem states that a field of hair cannot be combed flat at every point on a sphere. In other words, every hairy ball has its own cowlick. Light can be slowed down, stopped, and restarted. Researchers do this by cooling an atom cloud down to 1 billion times colder than the spaces between stars. Because light has no mass, when it stops moving, it ceases to exist. negative 90 degrees Fahrenheit, your breath will freeze in midair and fall to the ground. Antarctica is the only continent with no owls. They're like, oh, it's too cold. At 840,000 square miles, Greenland is the world's largest island. It is 3 times the size of Texas. There are 2,598,960 possible hands in Texas Hold'em. A 10-gallon hat only holds about 3/4 of a gallon of liquid. It got its name from the Spanish word galón, which means braid. Some Mexican cowboys or vaqueros wore as many as 10 braided bands on their sombreros. Major Henry Wirtz was the only soldier convicted of war crimes during the American Civil War. Wirtz was the commanding officer of the Confederate prison in Andersonville, Georgia. Of the 49,485 prisoners who entered the camp, nearly 13,000 died from disease and malnutrition. The word deadline originated in Civil War prisons, where lines were drawn that prisoners passed only at the risk of being shot. It's kind of how you feel, when you have a deadline. The D in D-Day doesn't stand for anything. In military terms, D-Day and H-hour are sometimes used for the day and hour on which a combat operation is to be initiated. The term, the whole 9 yards, dates from World War II, when fighter pilots armed their planes. The 50 caliber machine gun ammunition belts loaded into the fuselage measured exactly 27 feet. If a pilot fired all his ammo at a target, it got the whole 9 yards. The state motto of Alaska is North to the Future. Alaska's Point Barrow is the northernmost point in the United States. Oscar Stower and Jack Hufit were identical twins born in 1933 and separated shortly after birth. Oscar was raised as a Catholic and became a Nazi. Jack was raised as a Jew. When they reunited many years after World War II, they had little in common aside from the urge to fake sneezes during uncomfortable silences. Although the word ghetto today connotes impoverished urban centers, it originally pertained to quarters where Jews were forced to live irrespective of social class. In Venice, in the early 1500s, Jews were housed on an island with an iron foundry. The Italian word for foundry is ghetto. The world's oldest surviving recipe is a formula for making beer. It was discovered outside Baghdad in 1850 on a 3,800-year-old Sumerian clay tablet. 2 other tablets contain what are believed to be drinking songs. Pretzels originated in northern Italy around 1610 AD. An Italian monk gave them out to children who had learned their prayers. He called the strips of baked dough, folded to resemble arms crossing the breasts, bristiole, Latin for little rewards. That's so cute. Oh, that's a fact. Check. The oldest wad of chewing gum is 9,000 years old. Swedish researchers believe that birch resin was chewed and spat out by a Neolithic man looking to get high. Stannous fluoride, the cavity fighter found in toothpaste, is made from recycled tin. Fluorides work in 2 ways. They reduce the ability of bacteria to make acids, and they remineralize tooth areas that have been attacked by acids. Chewing an apple a day is just as effective at waking you up in the morning as drinking a cup of coffee. The act of chewing works to stimulate the central nervous system. There are more living organisms on the skin of a single human being than there are human beings on the Earth's entire surface. An average adult skin has a surface area of 16 to 22 square feet, each square inch of which houses nearly 20 million microorganisms. Like snowflakes or fingerprints, the bacterial profile in your belly button is unique. Oh, the average person grows about 138 feet of hair every day. Skin is the body's largest organ. An average adult skin weighs 8 to 10 pounds, making it 2 to 3 times as heavy as the brain. So that's where all my weight comes from. The carat, standard unit of measurement for gemstones, was originally based on the weight of the carob seed. A fundamental characteristic of nanotechnology is that nanodevices, structures at a size scale below 100 nanometers, self-assemble. You can put out a fire with sound waves. Let's try that out. On March 15th, 1985, Symbolic.com became the first registered internet domain. Science fiction writer William Gibson had coined the term cyberspace in his novel Neuromancer only the year before. The first item sold on eBay, then called Auction Web, was a broken laser point that sold for $14 at the time, more than the cost of a new one. 50 Barbie dolls are sold on eBay every hour. The Kanturi Barbie is the most expensive Barbie ever made, featuring a pink diamond necklace and a sleeveless black dress. The Kanturi Barbie sold at auction for $302,500. On February 8th, 2000, The Meaning of Life was auctioned on eBay. The auction's description read, "I have discovered the reason for our existence and will be happy to share this information with the highest bidder." After 8 bids were placed, The Meaning of Life was sold for $3.26. American inventor Thomas Edison held over 1,500 patents, including those for the phonograph, kinetoscope, dictaphone, radio, light bulb, autographic printer, and tattoo gun. Look at that. I'm pretty sure that's his phonograph. The first film version of Frankenstein was a 15-minute silent produced by Thomas Edison. When Thomas Edison died in 1941, Henry Ford captured his last breath in a bottle. Henry Ford invented the modern charcoal briquette from sawdust and scrap wood generated in his automobile factory. Ford encouraged people to use their cars on picnic outings by offering barbecue grills and Ford charcoal at his automobile dealerships. Levi Hutchins made the first modern alarm clock in 1787. Fastidious by nature, Hutchins fashioned a mechanical ringing bell clock so that he could arrive punctually at work each morning. He never bothered to patent or mass-produce his invention, which only went off at 4 a.m. Leonardo da Vinci invented and used an alarm clock in which water flowed in a thin stream from one receptacle to another. When the second receptacle was full, a system of gears and levers raised Leonardo's feet into the air. Greek mathematician and scientist Heron of Alexandria invented a water clock during Alexander the Great's reign. Its purpose was to limit the time a lawyer could speak in court. The Tyrolean Iceman, the 5,300-year-old mummy of a late Neolithic man found in 1991, was carrying a bark container with a charcoal ember in it. Scientists believe he used the charcoal ember to start fire. DNA analysis shows that the Tyrolean Iceman had brown eyes, had type O blood, and was lactose intolerant. All blue-eyed people have a single common ancestor who lived near the Black Sea 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. Eyes appear to be blue, not because of blue pigment in the iris, but because of a lack of melanin. People with no melanin at all are albinos. Men who kiss their wives goodbye in the morning earn higher salaries than men who don't. The word salary comes from the Latin salarium, meaning payment in salt. Roman soldiers were paid partially in salt, a highly valuable commodity at the time. I think that is a good stopping place for now, okay? I thank you so much for being here with me. I sincerely appreciate it. Gracias. Gracias, gracias, gracias. And again, I hope that you are staying safe, or as safe as possible, okay? As safe as you can possibly be. And as always, it is my hope that I've been able to relax you in some way. And I hope that you found these utterly useless facts to be a little entertaining. Okay? I appreciate you, te aprecio, and I can't wait to see you next time. Okay? Okay. And before I go, I have to give you some kisses. Okay? Gracias. Besos para ti. Besos para usted. Thank you. Remember, you matter, okay? You're incredible. You're beautiful. Incredible. Amazing. Okay. Thank you.